Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another collection tour. That's right, I know, I've seen all the comments, it's been a while since the last one, and I have made a ton of changes to the display. Now this will be the last time you're ever going to see it looking quite like this. There are some more changes coming, a little bit more on that later on. Now if this is the first time you're seeing one of my collection tours, first of all, welcome to the channel, thanks for checking it out. Why not hit that subscribe and bell notification icon if you, like me, are a fan of 1/6 scale figures. I've got a ton of content on the channel and a heck of a lot more on the way. Now most of the figures in my collection I got from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. Now before you ask, Justin, where did you get the cabinets from? They are from Moducase. The link for that is also down in the description. I do have to say a massive thank you to my buddy Slam Collections on Instagram for coming over and helping me with the monumental task of filming this latest tour. We didn't just stick with one particular style or even aspect ratio, we did wide angle shots, we did ultra wide shots, we did handheld, we did gimbal shots, and also shots on the electronic slider. No, we didn't just take a bunch of pictures and pan across them when editing, this is actually the camera moving in real space, going forward and back and left and right. Also, sometimes up and down. Now that means you're getting the crispest 4K 60 frames per second video possible. With all of that being said, I had a ton of fun filming this tour. Do let me know what you think of the layout, what you think of the various sections, down in the comments below. Now without further ado, let's kick off the collection tour. Starting off with the bottommost shelf on the far left side closest to the door, we have what I like to call my movie favorites shelf. You've got Ghostbusters, you've even got Peter Sellers as Inspector Clouseau, Hellboy, Predator, Fantastic Beasts, and Matrix. And yes, I did manage to sneak in the Star Ace Homelander on a custom Thyssen body. Above that, we have my mini Logan collection, only consisting of 3 figures, but I still really like them. Front and center, the Netflix display with Kingpin, a bunch of Daredevil figures, plus Iron Fist, I know not everyone loves him, and Punisher. On the far left, my mini Marvel Disney Plus-ish shelf with Hellboy, a couple of Visions, and Loki. Above that, we have the Transformers display, which is a work in progress. I will be moving this to a different area of the collection in the future. We've got the third-party Starscream, then Blitzwing, Soundwave, a third-party Shockwave, third-party Cliffjumper, Bumblebee, and of course, smack bang front and center, Optimus Prime. In the middle of the display, we have my childhood. The Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I love the way this looks. They're super colorful, super vibrant, and I'm pretty proud of the posing and the layout. It's kind of in a poster-style format with Lord Draken front and center. Ranger Slayer hopefully should be coming in relatively soon. On the far end of the display, this is my current DCTV collection. Now this is also a work in progress. It will be evolving as more figures eventually come out. Up front we do have the 3 So-So Toys Titans figures, Robin, Nightwing and Superboy, plus Crypto, then behind them the Arrowverse releases, plus the Hot Toys Flash. Now we do have another movie classics shelf. Now this is also a work in progress. I know, it's a little bit crowded, but as you can see, you can pretty much see everyone. We've got John Wick, we've even got Joker, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Blade Runner, Indiana Jones, and Back to the Future. This particular shelf is going to be a little bit more spread out, cause more Back to the Future figures are coming. I do have this kind of poster-style format with Einstein up front. Not everyone loves the Einstein figure by Hot Toys, but I kind of find him a little bit endearing. Back to the Future 2 Marty, both versions of Back to the Future 1 Marty, and then of course, Doc Brown up the back. I don't know if I'm going to have room for the DeLorean, but we'll have to wait and see when that comes out and figure out a place to put it. Up the very top, we have the video game display. This ranges from mobile games with Venom Pool to Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed front and center, which was designed and all posed by my wife, Mrs. Collection. She loves Assassin's Creed. We also have Witcher, Detroit Become Human, Last of Us, Uncharted, Hitman, and my personal favourite, Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima. Now, in the middle section, we currently, and I know I've said currently a few times, but this is going to be changed up very soon. We've got the Prime 1 red-suited Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I have a full review of this guy on the channel. I absolutely love it. But he will be leaving the module case, cause I am hard at work on a custom statue room. We do have just a little teaser of what that's potentially going to look like towards the end of this video, so make sure you're sitting down and watching it all the way through. Above him, we do have the Prime 1 Heath Ledger Joker, who has already departed this spot, which means it is going to be freed up so I can add another half shelf and extend those previous shelves that I alluded to just before. Now, right at the very top, on top of Prime 1 Joker, we do have this kind of hodgepodge of Star Wars figures. The reason they're next to the video game display is because there are a couple of Battlefront figures. We've got the Jump Trooper, the Shock Trooper, and also the Shadow Trooper from A New Hope, but also kind of not really, Mythos Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, and then a bunch of other Bobas. Now, moving on to the Marvel part of the collection, this is my Cap Shrine. It was previously in chronological order, but now I've kind of split it up between Captain America, the First Avenger on the left and right, then figures from the second movie, The Winter Soldier, front and center. I love the way that Falcon looks with Cap running alongside him. We also have the Iron Man Shrine, which will be getting an upgrade when we get Diecast Mark 1, and the new and improved version, fingers crossed, of Mech Test Tony. But for now, we have Iron Man 1 on the left with Mark 1, 2, and 3, Ironmonger, Mech Test Tony 1.0 at the front, then moving on to Iron Man 2 in the center and on the right. Directly above that, we do have Civil War. Now, a lot of people did comment on my last tour that I got it wrong. I had the Team Cap figures on the side where Iron Man is posed and the Team Iron Man figures on the Cap side. Now, I did that on purpose. It was to show a bit of juxtaposition and conflict, but I heard you loud and clear. As you can see, I have now flipped it entirely. Everyone is on their correct sides. I do still have Cap and Iron Man battling it out front and center. I still absolutely love the way this looks. Plus, crossbones can be very clearly seen up the back. I still would have loved to have had a Hot Toys Crossbones, but unfortunately, he just never came to be. Now, I am considering changing out the Vision for an upgraded WandaVision version, but considering he is just tucked in the back, I don't know if that's worth doing. Let me know what you think down below. I also have the concept art Cap on Team Cap's side and concept art Mark 46 on Team Iron Man's side. I do have them arranged in, yes, I know, a very dated format, the Flying V, but they are on multiple different levels, and for me, this gets the job done perfectly. This shelf is directly in front of my desk, so when I'm sitting down, this is the view I'm getting. Now, as for Avengers 1, this is a little bit of a mashup. We have Captain Marvel and the Ancient One, because we do see Ancient One in Endgame in the 2012 timeline. We also have Ant-Man from Ant-Man 1, then the rest of the team all around them. I am potentially considering upgrading this Loki to the Avengers Endgame version. Again, let me know what you think. Above that, we have Age of Ultron. I have kind of mirrored the format with Hulk still in the middle and the trio, Thor, Cap and Iron Man, the Marvel Trinity, front and center. On the left, we have Hawkeye, Black Widow, War Machine and Ultron Mark 1 looking oh so creepy. One thing you're probably going to start to notice is I love symmetry. So on the left side we've got Ultron Mark 1, on the other we've got Ultron Prime, plus Quicksilver, Maria Hill, and Scarlet Witch. Overall, yeah, I'm very happy with that display. Now moving on to the very top shelf at the back of the room, we have some Iron Man quarter scale figures and some Spideys as well. In the corner we've got the Mark III, absolutely love that figure, I kind of want to put him in a more prime position. Then the Mark 42, Mark 43 and the Mark 45. On the far right, we've got the quarter-scale Spidey from Hot Toys with that massive Vulture display base. And then, front and center, my personal favorite piece in this display, the Queen Studios Homecoming/Civil War Spidey with Cap's shield. It's an awesome centerpiece, and he does sit nice and low, so luckily he's not blocking anyone. Directly below the top shelf in the corner unit, we do have the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I personally absolutely love this display. It's one that I can see sitting down at the desk, and with Thanos being slightly smaller but on a rather tall riser, everyone is clearly visible. Now we do have my spare Infinity War Thor tucked behind the corner, which is totally fine with me because I do have a proper Infinity War Thor much more clearly visible in the Infinity War display. The display in this corner unit is kind of adjacent to the Iron Man collection. That's why I've treated it as a bit of an overflow. We've got Iron Man 3 figures, my Mark IV in gantry, plus the Mandarin sitting down in his chair. Now I know, not everyone loves that figure, but I certainly do. Below that, in the final corner unit on the left side, we have my Thor/Thor Ragnarok collection. Big boy Gladiator Hulk up the back, Thor 1 figures including Odin and Thor himself, as well as the Dark World figures, and my personal favourite Thor, Road-Worn Thor. He is up front and centre on the left side of that support beam. Trust me, in person you can actually move around, and you can definitely see him a lot more clearly. On the right of that, we do have my Terminator display, and this, I will admit, is kind of a bit of visual overload. Terminator 1 on the left side, Genesis Endoskeleton, T2 in the middle, and then a couple of other Arnies on the right. But by far my favourite part of this display is up the front with DX10 and DX13. On the other side, because this cabinet is kind of split in two, we have the Robocop collection. Robocop battle damaged only slightly, sitting on his chair, Alex Murphy, a clean version of Robo up front, then the full-on battle damaged Robocop standing in front of Ed 209, who is a very big boy. Then up the back, I've put all my quarter scales. Most of them are from Enterbay, except the Endoskeleton, who's made by Hot Toys. We've got Robocop, T1000, the battle-damaged version of the T800, and also the clean version. I am working on a better spot to put these guys, because it's a darn shame that you can kind of only see half of them. Now directly above that shelf we have my Spidey display. I absolutely love the way this display turned out, and I have split it into multiple very distinct segments. On the left side we've got Homecoming with pretty much the evolution of Spidey, the homemade suit, the tech suit, then two versions of Tony with his India outfit, the Mark 47, and Vulture up top by Jazz Inc., except without his wings. On the right side, it's Far From Home. This has been arranged in a very specific layout, kind of movie poster-esque, starting off with Peter Parker pulling back his mask, then upgraded suit Spidey with the unmasked head sculpt, the movie promo tech suit, the 2.0 version of the homemade suit, stealth suit on the Molten Man display base, then Mysterio up the back, just standing up there ominously, watching over the proceedings. The back top shelf, we do have the Sam Raimi trilogy with Spider-Man 1, the wrestling suit Spidey, red and blue suit Spidey, and black suit Spidey, plus Sandman, who is kind of more part of the display down below. We also have Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Electro, plus the new Goblin, who is just sitting above adjacent to the Green Goblin from the Raimi trilogy. Up front in the middle though, we have my No Way Home display. Now this will be getting a significant upgrade when we hopefully get the Hot Toys versions of these suits and a bunch of the villains. But for now, we've got Doc Ock on one side, Green Goblin on the other, plus Sandman smack bang in the middle, and all three Spideys right up the front. Now directly above this display we have a jam-packed one. It's Infinity War and I love the way this looks. I've even included Taskmaster because if you think about it, at the end of the Black Widow movie we do see Natasha with the blonde hair and in her sister's vest. Whereas in Infinity War, she is wearing that outfit, so I think it ties in really nicely. We've got multiple levels here with the villains up the back, then we step forward to some of the heroes, and I have kind of tried to split them into teams, although in the middle, I have gone with Tony in the tracksuit and Mark 50 back to back. This shelf is also a contender to receive my WandaVision version of Vision. Do let me know, once again, where should I put him? Because I ended up with a spare. I purchased 2. Now, moving down to my classic Marvel display, we've got the 90s X-Men, most of them by Sideshow, but also the So-So Toys Gambit, and the classic Avengers. With that brand new, clear plastic Iron Man, I actually think he looks really good. Plus Cyclops with that gorgeous optic blast. Then in the middle, the Fox X-Men collection. We've got the younger cast in the back, then a bunch of different eras of Wolverine up the front. I am considering moving my Logan display here somehow, some way to complete the Wolverine collection, but I'm not entirely sure if I have the space. That's the one big issue with collecting 1/6 scale figures in all the various different sizes and shapes. I mean, literally, just look at the Toys Era Juggernaut, he is huge. Which leads me on to the far right side, the Deadpool collection. And yes, I do have that goofy, wacky zombie Deadpool that I love so much tucked up the back there. And Headpool is just kind of floating there on his little flight pole. In the corner unit on this side of the room, we have the Mark 43 popping out of the Hulkbuster. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be able to fit a Hulkbuster inside a module case, but as you can see, he does fit really nicely. Now I am contemplating putting a light bar on top of him to light him up just that little bit better. Now above that display, we have a kind of hodgepodge of more Spidey. Venom on one side with the Venom 1 figure plus the third-party Toys Era Parasitic, I think it's called. Either way, it's Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. Then, by far, my favourite part of this display is the classic suit Spidey with his huge scorpion tail diorama backdrop and the So-So Toys Green Goblin. This right here is straight up my childhood. I'm a kid of the 90s, I love the animated series, and this just works for me. The colours absolutely pop, and the blast effects on Goblin are insanely cool. I am tempted to put some cotton wool around the bottom so it kind of looks like smoke as though he's blasting off. On the far left, we have my new and improved Into the Spider-Verse display. Now, in the middle, you might think, oh, Justin, you got 2 Hot Toys Miles. Well, I did, but the second one is still en route. That's actually the Young Rich Toys figure, wearing the Hot Toys clothing and the Hot Toys head sculpt. And I'm really happy with how that ended up looking. Up top in the back, though, we have the entire, as it stands, Peter and Miles collection from the video games. This is some absolute genius licensing by Hot Toys, because just by licensing the game, they can make a bunch of classic and alternate Spidey suits. Iron Spider, Scarlet Spider, who would have thought? Now directly above that display is kind of the centerpiece of the entire room. It's Endgame. Now we do have Infinity War just off to the left, so when you're in here in person, it all kind of bleeds together as one massive collection. I had to put both versions of Thanos on 2 different levels up the back, plus Mark 85 battle damaged front and center. This display is jam-packed, and I'm pretty sure if you fast forward and rewind and go through with a fine-tooth comb, you'll spot some sneaky little Easter eggs in this collection. Now, there are a lot of characters, but I'm really happy with how this looks. In person, you can see everyone, and there is a good variety. I have tried to space everyone out as evenly as possible. On the right side, adjacent to Endgame in the corner unit, we have Black Panther. The third-party Panther Queen, T'Challa sitting in the Hot Toys throne, T'Chaka, Young Rich Toys Killmonger, and the Hot Toys Killmonger at the front. Now, some people weirdly said, Justin, why are you hiding Black Panther in the corner? Well, friend, I'm not. Shuri and Black Panther are right at the front of my Endgame display, and I'm really happy with how this all looks. Now, right at the very top, we have my Nolanverse display. This is another one that will be getting an upgrade in the next tour. The quarter-scale figures now have a new home in the statue room, which means everyone is going to be far more spread out. And yes, that is the DX19 right up the front there. Now, this display is kind of split into two, with the classic versions of the characters on the right and the Burton-verse on the left. We've got Christopher Reeve's Superman, both evil and normal versions, the comic version of Wonder Woman, plus Burt Ward and Adam West as Batman and Robin. And then the Burton-verse, which I absolutely love. Below that, though, this is my personal favourite display in the collection, but I'm a huge DC guy, so I could be biased. It's the mix of third-party and Hot Toys figures for Zack Snyder's Justice League. The way those ramps come together at the front is absolutely stunning in person. This display is a work in progress, as more figures are coming, hopefully, very soon. Below that, we have Aquaman on the right, Birds of Prey following that, then BVS and Wonder Woman 84 with Golden Armor Wonder Woman. And you will notice Superman has a custom head sculpt, and I do have my custom Batman with that gorgeous brand new cowl sculpt. Be sure to check out the review if that's something you're interested in. Now, on the left of that, we do have Suicide Squad. Not the Suicide Squad, this is just the original from David Ayer. Now, not everyone loves this movie, but I love the figures. You've got a bunch of different versions of Harley and Joker, Deadshot, and even Batman with his very mean-looking rebreather swooping down on the criminals. Now, this Arkhamverse display is also a work in progress. We've still got XE suit coming, and I hope Hot Toys, please give us that Nightwing and a bunch more characters. This display, the figures that you have made for it, are exceptional, so more is definitely welcomed. Directly below that, right at the bottom of the collection, we do have my Comics and Batman Ninja display. This one is very full, as you can see. It includes sideshow figures, custom figures, and also SSR figures, with the Regen suit Superman being the newest addition. I've popped him at the front, because I cannot get over how good that figure looks. The two statues on this side of the room, including this guy and the Arthur Fleck above him, have actually already been moved to the statue room. I'm really excited to show you what I'm working on, but it's not quite ready yet. Now, this Batman is absolutely stunning. He's got multiple head sculpts, he's got multiple switch-out hands with the rifle and the grappling hook. I cannot get over how good this statue looks. Then above him, my first ever J&D statue, which is Arthur Fleck. Now, this one isn't, I think, the quintessential version of Joaquin Phoenix as Joker from the movie. If you are just going to get one, it's probably going to be him in the red suit. But if you already have a red suit Joker, either from Prime 1 or someone else, this guy is a very nice companion piece. Now, this right here is the start of my Star Wars display, but at the same time, it's a travesty. These quarter-scale figures are hidden away in a corner unit. It breaks my heart. Now, I will be moving them. Don't worry, they're not going to be here permanently, but for now, they are very, very hidden and secluded. They will have a much more prominent spot in the new and improved display when we get around to that next tour. But we have Boba Fett from Return of the Jedi, Mando, and Vader. Now, moving on to Star Wars. Oh, it's about to get very, very busy. This top shelf all the way along from left to right is quite jam-packed. We've got Phantom Menace on the left, and then Attack of the Clones on the right, with the brand new Hot Toys Django right up the front there. I love that figure. Then on the right side, a bunch more Clone Wars with my custom Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Anakin, and all of the clones making up the background of the display. Now you'll notice I have highlighted the main characters right at the front, and the clones are kind of just background fodder. I know, it's a crime to say that, but at the same time, they do a good job of filling out the otherwise very black and blank space. So if this doesn't work for you, I understand. But at the same time, I'm not really making the displays for anyone else. I'm making them for me, and I personally cannot get over this display. It's full, it's hectic, and that is very Clone Wars. Now, as for the original trilogy, on the right side we have Empire. This is also a work in progress, but I have popped in the brand new Snowspeeder Luke. I've replaced the Sideshow one, but I don't really feel bad about that because this figure is awesome. I have the Bounty Hunters up the back, the Sideshow Snowtrooper Commander, and also my custom Han Solo on the right. On the left side of the display though, we have A New Hope with my brand new full diecast C-3PO. And then of course, Luke Skywalker up the front, and the villains up the back. Now I have included the Mandalorian Tusken Raider, which kind of shouldn't be there, but he's close enough to A New Hope, so he's popped in that display. But I do have another one on the right side of Mando. Now Mando is directly below original trilogy. The reason it's there is because it's at the prime viewing spot in the room. If you walk in, it's at eye level, and trust me, it will catch your eye immediately. Now, just like the other Star Wars displays, I have popped the main characters at the front, and then all of the supporting cast at various different heights and levels in the background. Now, it's always good if you have the vertical space. Why not use it? It's something that otherwise can make your figures look really small, so if you can put your figures at different levels, it makes for a really dynamic display. Now for Return of the Jedi, it's kind of a small collection. We do have Boba, the droids, Luke Skywalker, and the Sideshow Darth Vader, who, for now, is a really good stand-in. I know he doesn't get a lot of love, but trust me, check out the review I did for him recently. I find that, as I said, he can stand in really nicely for a Hot Toys Vader if you find that Hot Toys Vader is out of your price range. Speaking of Hot Toys Vader, right there is my favorite one, the Rogue One version. We've got Rogue One with a bunch of different shore troopers, all the different variants, and then Solo off to the left. This display will be expanding as we will be removing those statues and popping them in the brand new room. Down the bottom though, we have the sequel trilogy. This is very full, but quite deceptively so. All of the troopers are in the back, and all of the main characters, which are the key focus mind you, are front and center, and you can see them all. Now that is pretty much it for the latest collection tour. As promised, here is a sneak preview of the statue room. A massive thank you to all of you who have stuck around right to the end of the video. This hopefully will be worth your while. Now this room is going to feature all of my 3rd scale statues, my life-size busts, my quarter scale overflow pieces that I can't fit in the main room, and even some artwork from some very talented local artists. I am hard at work on this room, but it is far from finished, so it will be a while before it's ready for cameras. Now once again, a massive thank you to every single one of you who have stuck around and watched this video. Feel free to scroll back and check out your favorite areas of the collection. I know it was a race to the finish, but there was a lot to get through. Let me know what you think of this new combined format with the various different sizes and aspect ratios and styles. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.